Hello my beautiful viewers on my channel, James Higgins Open World. Well, here we are. This is episode 14. One to go after this one of James Higgins World of Strange Powers, episode 14. Kent Ghost Stories in the UK. So let's get down to it. Here we go. 1 second.
The Ghost of Bluebell Hill is one of the most famous ghost stories ever to come out of Kent. It has been reported in a number of national newspapers over the years, with many repeat experiences. Unsuspecting motorists have witnessed a woman running out in front of their cars late at night, often locking eyes with them before being hit and vanishing. No evidence of a collision has ever been found, nor has there ever been a victim found either. It is believed to be the ghost of a woman who died in a tragic car accident in 1965 near the bridge over the Old Chatham Road. 2 cars were involved in the collision, and 3 out of the 4 women in one car tragically died. One of the women was a bride-to-be, who was due to wed the following day. Is this the woman who continues to haunt Bluebell Hill? As well as the reports of the ghost jumping in front of cars, there have also been 4 reported experiences of a female hitchhiker on Bluebell Hill. Motorists pull over to pick her up, only for her to disappear from the back seat shortly after setting off.
Wow! Hey! Wow! Bloody hell, hey! Keep watching this episode of James Higgins World of Strange Powers, episode 14. Kent Ghost Stories. Wow! 1 second. Right, here's another one. Check this one out.
The reports of the Bluebell Hill ghost. Rochester man in 1969. For years after the accident, a man on his way home to Rochester late at night saw 2 pedestrians walking towards him, then suddenly disappear. On another occasion he witnessed the pedestrians again, walking across the road, however this time a car drove straight through them.
Wow! Bloody hell, eh? Wow! 1 second. 1 second, there's another story. Wow! 1 second.
Maurice Goodenough, 1974. In the early hours of July 13th, 1974, Maurice Goodenough, a bricklayer from Rochester, was driving through Bluebell Hill when a young girl jumped in front of his car. The girl just walked out in front of me from the edge of the road, he said. My car hit her with a hell of a bang. He jumped out of his car to tend to the girl, who he found lying in the road, with a cut to her forehead and grazes on her knees. He covered her with a blanket and tried to wave down passers-by, but no one would stop. He thought it would be unwise to try and move her into his car, so he rushed off to Rochester Police Station to report what had happened. They returned to the scene to find nothing but the blanket Goodenough had placed over her. A search was called in the nearby area, but there was no success. The search resumed at dawn, with tracker dogs, but no scent, tracks, or blood could be found. A check on hospital admissions, as well as a newspaper appeal for the missing child, were carried out, but nobody stepped forward. Goodenough was interviewed by the News of the World that Saturday night, and was obviously still shaken and adamant that he had, in fact, hit a girl. I'm not going mad, he said. But where did she vanish? I'm still shaking from the experience.
Just 1 second, and we'll continue with this. 1 second. Just 1 second. Let's continue with this.
The press jumped to the assumption that the girl must have been a ghost. Their research about the incident in 1965, as well as the legend of the hitchhiking ghost, resulted in the conclusion that the girl must have been a ghost. The fact that it was a girl, her appearance in the vicinity of the 1965 crash, her vanishing after the incident, and the fact Goodenough's car wasn't damaged, all point to this conclusion.
Wow! Hey! Wow! Believe it! The Ghost in Kent. Keep watching this episode of James Higgins World of Strange Powers, episode 14. One left after this. Just 1 second. Right, let's continue with this. Wow! Just 1 second. Here we go. Sorry about that delay then. Here we go.
Ghost girl seen again. A headline from 1992. evening in November, when Ian Sharp, a 54-year-old coach driver, was on his way home to Maidstone, when a young woman appeared directly in front of his vehicle near the Aylesford southbound turnoff of the A229 at Bluebell Hill. The woman strangely stared right into his eyes, before he hit her, with the body going under the bonnet. Mortified, he slammed on his brakes and jumped out to help the woman. "I honestly thought I had killed her," he said. "You can't imagine how it felt. I was so scared to look underneath, but I knelt down and looked straight through. There was nothing there." He then looked around the vehicle, and at the side of the road, but found no one. So sure he was of hitting the woman, he went to the police station at Rochester to tell them about the incident. Aware of the area and its reports, the police went on to explain the legend that surrounds the area. Nevertheless, the police returned with him to the scene, and sure enough, the search proved fruitless. Ian Sharp later described it as the most terrifying experience of his life.
Wow! Wow! Just 1 second. Just 1 second. Here we go.
Also, later that month and year, 2 motorists reported hitting a woman wearing a red scarf near the Robin Hood Lane junction at Bluebell Hill. They searched and informed the police, but yet again, nobody was ever found.
Bloody hell, eh? Bloody hell, eh? Wow! Right, here's another story about this. Wow, unbelievable, eh? Here we go.
Hello. During 1964-1973, I was a member of Kent Ambulance Service based at Medway. One Christmas Eve night, while driving back from a Maidstone hospital in an ambulance, after taking a patient there, we were driving up Bluebell Hill when suddenly my co-driver and myself noticed a person, in what appeared to be wearing a wedding dress, step out into the road. I slowed down, and my mate leant out the cab window, asked her where she was going this time of night. All she wanted was a lift, so I jumped out and opened the rear of the ambulance doors, and she got in. When we drove into Rochester, I turned my head and called out to her, but the ambulance was empty. That is a true story. Paul Tana.
Wow, eh? Believable, eh? Wow. 1 second. Right, here's another story. Dover Castle. Wait till you hear this one. 1 second. Right, just 1 second. This is a little small story from Dover Castle.
The structure we see today dates back to the Norman conquest of England in 1066, but there were fortifications on the cliff since the time of the Romans. The castle is said to be haunted by a variety of ghosts from various eras of its use. The most chilling of these is that of a drummer boy who was said to have been murdered in the tunnels below the castle during the Napoleonic Wars. The unfortunate lad was beheaded and has been seen stalking the castle walls, playing his drum without his head.
TL, eh? Eh? Bloody hell. 1 second. Right, this is the last story of this episode of James Higgins' World of Strange Powers, episode 14. Violent screams beneath Dover Castle. So this is the last story on episode 14 of James Higgins' World of Strange Powers. So let's get to it. 1 second.
There have been many reported sightings of the ghosts of Second World War soldiers in these secret underground tunnels. Earlier this year, a couple reported that they heard violent screams in the tunnel and cries for help. Initially, they presumed that the spooky noises were part of a planned event. However, much to their surprise, the staff informed them that nothing like that was prepared. The ghosts are said to be soldiers who escaped from Dunkirk, as one figure in khaki was spotted walking purposefully along the corridor in 2013.
Well, there you go. That's the end of this episode of James Higgins' World of Strange Powers, episode 14. Next week's episode, which is the last one of this series, is Ghosts of the Tower of London. So I thought it would end on a high with the Tower of London. Hey, what have you. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of Ghost Stories in Kent and episode 14. And watch out for next Wednesday's episode of James Higgins' World of Strange Powers, episode 15, the last episode. Ghosts in the Tower of London. And that will be it for 6 months, maybe until the new year. I'm not quite decided yet. It's going to be 6 months. I might even wait till the new year. I want to raise this series even higher next time. So you've had 3 series already. You've had James Higgins' Mysterious Universe. You've had James Higgins' World of Mysterious World, and you've had James Higgins' World of Strange Powers. So 3 series. So watch them all on this channel. James Higgins' Open World. So thanks for watching. See you on the next one.